My name is Tori Holland, and I am Kituwah. I'm the congressional delegate for the United Kituwah Band. The Cherokee people were promised a delegate in the Treaty of Hopewell, the Treaty of New Echota, and another treaty in the 1800s. And under that treaty provision, the Cherokee people are entitled to a delegate in Congress. It is our goal to get all Cherokee delegates seated, or none of the Cherokee delegates seated, because you cannot have a favorite Cherokee tribe. At this time, Congress has not made any decision on whether or not they will seat a delegate or delegates. Right now, the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma has asserted its right for a delegate, the United Kituwah Band has asserted its right for a delegate, and the Eastern Band has also stated that they have a delegate. There are other tribes that have delegates, such as the Choctaw and the Delaware tribes. But Congress has not yet taken action on any of the delegate issues. Today, our biggest problem is working with our sister tribe, the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma. Unfortunately, the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma shut down the Kituwah Casino, which was our primary operating source of revenue. And when that happened, we had to lay off half of our workforce, and it was a real struggle for our tribal members. Since that time, we've had to fight for every inch of funding that we've received. We have tried working with the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, and we will continue trying to work with the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma. It's unfortunate that our sister tribe has not embraced us and has made everything harder for us, so that we have to resort to these issues and legal battles. We try to go to DC semi-frequently to lobby for our interests. Unfortunately, the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma has used various legal tactics and legislative tactics to try to strip away the rights of the United Kituwah Band. For example, they had our housing funds taken away from us, and it took us 10 years to litigate that to try to get those housing funds back. There was an appropriations rider that went in at the last minute that prevented us from getting land into trust and prevented some of our funding being sent to us. So it took us 10 years to get a reversal of that rider. And just a few years ago, the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma attempted to get a reversal of that reversal, which would restore us not being able to get land in trust. Recently, we've had the McGirt decision come down as well, and there's been proposed legislation brought forward by the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, and it was entitled Reservation Integrity, which was a direct attack on the United Kituwah Band to prevent us from getting land in trust for our use and benefit. It's important that we lobby to our congressional lawmakers in DC because they are not aware of what happens here on the ground. On the ground, we live together, we work together. We go to church together, and our families are together. It's only at this high level that there is such animosity and division between the tribes, and it's time for it to end. It's time for us to work together. Historically, we were all one Cherokee people. Prior to the Trail of Tears, a group of Cherokee moved to what's now Arkansas, and they were known as the Western Cherokee, or the Old Settlers. Then you had the Trail of Tears happen, where for easy math purposes, a second third was pushed over to what is now Oklahoma. Now, we always refer to ourselves as Kituwah. Cherokee was a name given to us by the Choctaws and the traders in the South. Whenever Congress changed its mind through all of the eras, such as the relocation era, the termination era, the allotment and assimilation era, and the tribal reorganization era, we were faced with all of these different issues as a tribal people. So when that first group of Cherokee moved to what's now Arkansas, they did so because they saw the assimilation writing on the wall, and we did not want to assimilate. So we wanted to move early to preserve our culture and our heritage. When the Trail of Tears happened and the second third of Cherokee people were pushed into what's now Oklahoma, we were faced again with another issue brought by Congress, and that was partially the stripping away of the tribal sovereignty of our historic Kituwah people. Congress passed the Curtis Act, which abolished a lot of the tribal rights that we had as a nation. And because of that action, we had to form different mechanisms to provide for our communal society. After the United States Congress found that that was a bad idea to terminate and relocate, then they changed their mind and wanted to do the Indian Reorganization Act. But the Indian Reorganization Act did not apply to the tribes in Oklahoma. So the Oklahoma Indian Welfare Act was passed, and a group of Kituwahs, the Kituwah Society, the Nighthawks, they formulated a tribe under the Oklahoma Indian Welfare Act called the United Kituwah Band of Cherokee Indians in Oklahoma to rebirth the historic Cherokee Nation that was previously stripped away by those acts of Congress. Since that time, we have operated as a federally recognized tribe with all of the rights therein. Our problem stems from our sister tribe, the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, trying to prevent us from exercising those rights. If Congress decides to keep this 200-year-old treaty promise, then they must do so equally. They cannot choose one Cherokee tribe to receive a delegate and not the other two. That would be a disservice of the other two Cherokee tribes. Therefore, if Congress decides to seat a delegate, they must seat all 3 Cherokee delegates at the same time. I would encourage both UKB members and Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma members to talk to their leadership and encourage the 2 tribes to come together on a way forward, so that way these issues can be worked out among the Cherokee people and not be directly decided on how we're going to do things by Congress. We are grown tribes and we are able to work things out on our own, and we should try to do so.